Yo, welcome to DROD'S MMA and Boxing. I'm coming at you again with another breakdown and analysis of a fight. This time it's with Olexsandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua. The way I saw the fight from beginning to end and how I think that Usyk was able to overcome Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua came out flat-footed and wanting to throw punches. He wanted to throw power punches, and that was an adjustment that he had to make because he's used to fighting bigger guys. If you think about it, all of Anthony Joshua's career, he's fought big, heavy guys. The greatest mistake I think Anthony Joshua did was in his preparation for the fight. It was revealed that he spent more time on the heavy bag than the focus
His
mix.
approach to training, he didn't hit focus pads. Instead, he worked more on the heavy bag this camp. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
The heavy bag is a larger target that doesn't move as much. And focus mitts are smaller target that you have to focus to really get a clean shot on the target. Your trainer can emulate your opponent by moving around and giving you different angles, and it really works the hand-eye coordination, speed, and footwork. It's very interesting considering that Usyk is a fast, mobile opponent, and they chose to work on the heavy bag. So that would make perfectly good sense on why Anthony Joshua really struggled in the beginning of the fight, because he was looking to land heavy punches on a moving target. Heavy punches as though he was hitting a heavy bag rather than a smaller target that's moving side to side and different angles. Now, Usyk is different. He is a cruiserweight coming up, and he was moving a lot and fighting in angles that was giving Anthony Joshua a very difficult time to land in power shots. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Joshua did phenomenal in so many ways. As long as he was using his left hand and he was throwing his own feints and using his foot to move, then he did well. But when he was trying to stay flat-footed, Usyk was trying to move around in that southpaw stance and get his foot on the outside and land straight left down the middle, and it was causing Joshua a lot of problems. You know, I keep saying this, I said this in previous videos, you know, that theory that of inertia where an object that's at rest stays at rest, well, it's harder to be able to fight someone that's moving if you're flat-footed. And Anthony Joshua was trying to throw these hard punches and they were not landing. Usyk was throwing softer punches, not softer punches, but they were more like 70% punches, and he was able to land more in volume. And but when Joshua was boxing and not putting a lot of steam on his punches, he was able to keep Usyk off and do very well. If you listen to like the commentators, you would think that this fight was just a runaway for Usyk, and it really wasn't. In fact, one of the judges had it 116, 112, which tells you about 4 rounds, and then you had 115, 113, I believe, was one of the scorecards. So it was not that, it was a very close fight. Usyk was smart enough to get his points, and then after he get his points, he was smart enough to like lay off. Like one round, he got his points, and he knew, okay, now Anthony Joshua is going to try to get his points back, and then he will circle around, and he was very smart. So yeah, he won that round very decisively, but it wasn't a runaway because he literally won by a couple of points. And it got to a point in the fight that a lot of time the commentators would give credit for points that were blocked on both sides. You know, they would hype it up. Oh my gosh, Usyk throws a right hand. But then I'm looking at him like, it looks like that was blocked, but he would still get credit. There was one instance, I believe, where Usyk was coming forward and he got hit, but he got credit for the point, which is for anyone who's in amateur boxing or any type of sports where there's judging, fighting was judging. I learned this a hard way. When the guy is coming forward, judges is going to see his punch, not your punch. Even though yours was probably the more effective punch, he's going to get credit because you're coming forward. And so as Usyk was coming forward with a lot of shots, he was getting credit for those points. Perception is key when you have a close fight. And Usyk, he passed the perception test, right? The other thing is Usyk's jab was just phenomenal, man. He was doing. Man, if you guys comment below and let me know if you want me to drop a video, I can try to do something, maybe a YouTube short or something. But his jab was phenomenal. The way he was using his hands, and he was feinting in and out, and he was looking for his angles. Because see, what happened was Joshua's left hand was causing Usyk a lot of problems. So Usyk had to use a lot of feints. He had to cut a lot of angles, and he had to do a lot of movement to try to beat that jab. And he would wait. So like the moment, there was some points where Anthony Joshua, he would stop throwing his jab and he would cover up in a high guard. Well, then that gave Usyk the opportunity to come in close and land power shots. But as long as he kept that hand out there, it was very difficult for Usyk to get anything. A lot of things that you see that Lomachenko and Usyk does reminds me of Mike Tyson, of how they use that high guard and they're cutting in and cutting out. And he was cutting to try to find his angle to get inside that jab. I mean, very textbook stuff, very high level stuff. As you know, as you would see, Joshua later began to adapt. This man began to adapt. People don't give credit to where credit is due. His boxing skills is pretty decent, phenomenal. He made some adjustment against a world-class boxer like Usyk. And the adjustment he made was he took the steam off his punches. He began to use his legs more and move. So as Usyk was coming in, he was, cutting back in the angle. And it was making it difficult for Usyk to be able to land shots. Joshua even set Usyk up with some beautiful shots. Like he would use his left hand to keep him at bay, and he would wait till he come in. As soon as he come in, and pop, drop that right hand. Beautiful shot. And it was a big adjustment because as Usyk was throwing 70% punches, Joshua was trying to throw 90% punches. And what Usyk was doing was he was timing those power shots, especially when Joshua would try to go down to the body. Listen, man, I don't know why big guys try to fight like little guys. You're about 6'4", 6'5", you got a lot of size, a lot of weight, and you're bending your knees, and you're coming down to the smaller guy's level, and you're trying to throw a punch. What happens is that as he's throwing all of his power into that body, it's taking him a longer time to recover. Number one, he's off balance, right? And he's out of reach. But he's having a hard time. I mean, a lot of times you can see Usyk, like he's playing double dutch. He's timing that. He's baiting him in to throw that hard power shot. And as soon as Joshua throws that hard shot, it's taking him a while to recover. And now Usyk capitalizes on that. And he scored a lot of points just like that. A lot of points where Anthony Joshua went up to a high guard and he got on the outside and he was able to land powerful shots. He was able to do things like that and as well counter Joshua as Joshua was throwing hard punches. The other thing that Usyk did was phenomenal was he was landing body punches. He invested into the...
I think it's taking some of the power out of the shots as well. Good jab from AJ. A good back.
Body. Real estate, like Atlas says. He invested into the body. Why is that such a significant? Because when Joshua finally got into his groove and started to land his shots, he also was landing nice, powerful body punches that would hurt Usyk and make Usyk retreat. But then he stopped. I believe it was after the 7th round, he stopped throwing those body punches. It was these uppercuts and he was just tearing Usyk apart. So Usyk made an adjustment and went back to throwing the body punches. And I believe that was a difference maker because when Usyk was able to turn the heat up, so to speak, he was able to because, number one, he was reserving his energy for the entire fight with those 70% punches and by investing into the body punches of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua at that point couldn't keep up. He couldn't keep up because it was the speed of the fight. it was like he was running a marathon, and he's used to being a power puncher, and he's throwing these hard shots. He's trying to keep up with the pace and using his foot and trying to keep up with Usyk, and it was just too draining after a while, considering the size of his body. But also he was taking body punches. Usyk was landing body punches all night long, and that's how he was able to also work, stop the jab in a lot of ways. Well, he didn't stop the jab, but he was able to counter the jab by going underneath the jab. It's a very, very interesting fight. When I first saw it, I wasn't. Listen, I'm not in favor of Anthony Joshua fighting like a little guy, but it was, some of that stuff looked pretty decent. It was phenomenal watching both guys at such a high level, landing shots, but blocking shots and being able to get out of way of shots. I believe a lot of shots that people were giving credit to both guys, they were not shots landing. A lot of those shots were blocked. But like I said, Usyk passed the perception test. Very phenomenal stuff. But the second fight's going to be much different, right? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, that's how I saw the fight. I saw the fight as Joshua wanting to fight as though he was fighting another guy that was 6'4", 200-something pounds, 240, 260. But he had a cruiserweight that was moving, cutting off in angles with phenomenal hand speed, throwing feints, changing levels, going up and going down, moving from side to side, making his life very difficult, forcing him to fight at a fast pace. And a lot of times he wanted to land that power shot, but it was a different game plan, and he couldn't. And so even though he was landing some of his jabs, he just couldn't get into the rhythm because he wanted to be a power puncher. It's a different game when you fight Usyk. You got to go in there knowing that you're not going to land what you normally land, so you have to adjust it. And I don't think he made a complete adjustment. He did well in rounds 7, 8, and 9. Well, 9, I think Usyk began to come back. He did well, and then Usyk started to turn the heat up.